Hi students, today welcome to the today's class. In today's class we are going to discuss about keys in database management systems. Yes, firstly coming to the keys. What are keys or what is a key? We have to know that. A key is a set of attributes that can identify each tuple uniquely in the given relation. Okay, see here, a DBMS key is an attribute or set of an attribute which helps you to identify a row. A row is nothing but a tuple in a relation. I am repeating that, don't be confused. Relation is a table. They allow us to find the relation between two tables. Okay, two tables, and these keys help us uniquely to identify a row in a table by a combination of one or more columns in that table, and this key can be used uniquely to identify any record or row of data from the table. And this one is also used to establish and identify the relationships between tables. Already we have discussed that one, how it will be categorized like that, and why we need a key See here, these keys, and we have some reasons why we are using the keys in DBMS. We have different types of keys and why we are using those keys in DBMS. See, these keys help us to identify any row of data in a table. And next, coming to the real world application, this table could contain thousands of records. A table could contain thousands of records. See, for example, if we consider railway reservation systems and TTD, and as well as universities, it contains thousands of records, and moreover the records could be duplicated also. Okay, see, duplicated how means a student in the same class having the same name with the same initial and with the same father name, like that, but you will be having a different ID. Okay, to identify these things and all, we will be using a key here, and these keys ensure that you can uniquely identify a table record despite these challenges. See, I have told you now, in a class a student, two or three or some three people, they will be having the same name with their surname and father name with the surname, like that, but based on the ID, we will be identifying a particular person. For that purpose, a key will be needed, and I have told you already, it will be established for identifying the relationships between tables. Okay, next, coming to an example of a key. So if we consider a student table, an ID is used as a key because it is unique for each student, which we have discussed now itself. See here, in person table, you are having passport number, license number, SSN or keys, since they are unique for each person. Okay, each person. And next, these are coming to the types of keys. We have different types of keys and it has shown here. See, primary key, secondary key, unique key, composite key, surrogate key, partial key, foreign key, alternate key, super key, candidate key. We have given here different types of keys. Yes, next, coming to the primary key. Okay, primary key. A primary key is a candidate key that the database, okay, the designer selects while designing the database. A primary key can act as a candidate key that the database designer selects while designing the database. I think it's clear to you. And the next, it is the first key which is used to identify one and only one instance of an entity uniquely. Okay, it is the first key which is used to identify one and only one instance of an entity uniquely. An entity can contain multiple keys, as we saw in the person table. Okay, the key which is most suitable from the lists become a primary key. This is an example given here. Okay, and we have some more rules for defining the primary key. Two rows can't have the same primary key value. It must for every row to have a primary key value. The primary key field cannot be null. The primary key cannot be null. The value in primary key column can never be modified or updated if any foreign key refers to that primary keys. I think it's clear to you. Okay, let us see an example, and it is represented in the pictorial representation. What is the primary key like that? See here in the example, in the employee table, ID can be primary key since it is unique for each employee. In the employee table, we can even select license number and passport number as primary key since they are also unique. Okay. See, even another number can also be a primary key since it is a unique one. We'll be seeing that one also. And next, coming to the candidate key. Next, coming to the candidate key. It is a set of minimal attributes that can identify each tuple uniquely in the given relation is called as a candidate key. This is somewhat similar to primary key. Okay, we have seen there. See the example of here. In the employee table, ID is best suited for primary key. And the rest of attributes like SSN, passport number and license number are considered to be as candidate key. This is about candidate key. And next, coming to super key. Next, coming to the super key. What is a super key? It is a set of an attribute which can uniquely identify a tuple. Okay, which can uniquely identify a tuple. And it is a superset of a candidate key. And it is a superset of candidate key. Okay, see here, a super key is a group of it would be a group of single or multiple keys which identifies rows in a table, and it may have additional attributes that are not needed for unique identification. Okay, unique identification. See here, this one is not restricted to have any specific number of attributes. See an example here. In the above employee table, for employee ID and employee name, the name of two employees can be same but their employee ID can't be the same. Hence this combination will be a super key. And the super key would be employee ID, and employee name. I think you have understood the super key. And now coming to the foreign key. Foreign keys are the columns of the table which is used to point to the primary key of another table. Let us consider two tables here. Here we have taken here employee and department. See, the primary key in the first table, the same key in the second table can be considered as foreign key. Okay, as a foreign key. If you observe this example, here two tables we have given. In the employee ID, the unique and the primary key is department ID, which is also present in the second table, that is department. And this one can be considered as a foreign key. Okay, in the first table, department ID will be acting as a primary key, and in the second table, the same key will acting as a foreign key. Okay, let us consider an example. See here, already we have discussed those things and all. In a company, every employee works in a specific department, and employee and department are two different entities. So we can't store the information of the department in the employee table. That's why we link these two tables through the primary key of one table. It's clear, I think so, by this example. Next, coming to the alternate key. Alternate key is nothing but it is a column or a group of columns in a table that uniquely identifies every row in that table. All the keys which are not primary key are called an alternate key. See here, in this one, if we consider student ID and roll number as a primary key, okay, primary key, and the alternate key will be email. The alternate key will be acting as email. Okay, this is alternate key. Next, coming to the compound key. Next, coming to the compound key. See here, it has two or more attributes that allow you to uniquely recognize a specific record. A specific record. It is possible that each column may not be unique by itself within the database. Within the database. See an example within the, however, when it is combined with the other column or columns, the combination of composite keys becomes unique. Okay. See, the purpose of compound key is to uniquely identify each record in the table. If we observe this example, see here, order number and product ID can't be a primary key as it does not uniquely identify a record. Okay. However, a compound key of order ID and product ID could be used as it uniquely identified each record. Okay, it's clear. Next, coming to the composite key. It is a combination of two or more columns that uniquely identify rows in a table. Okay, it is a combination of two or more columns that uniquely identify rows in a table. And the combination of columns guarantees uniqueness. Okay. Through individually, uniqueness is not guaranteed. Though individually uniqueness is not guaranteed. Observe here, the combination of columns will be guaranteed for uniqueness, but the individual uniqueness is not guaranteed. Okay. And the next, coming to the surrogate key. This is an artificial key which aims to uniquely identify which each record is called a surrogate key. Okay. Artificial key which aims to uniquely identify each record. Okay. This is an example that these kind of keys are unique because they will be created or they are created when you don't have any natural primary key. Okay, these are the artificial keys. And next, coming to the partial key. Here, partial key is using which all records of the table cannot be identified uniquely. Okay, here's using the partial key employee number, we cannot identify a tuple uniquely, but we can select a bunch of tuples from the table. We can't identify uniquely. And next, coming to the unique key. This one consists of the following properties like it is unique, it will be unique for all the records in the table. If it is once assigned, its value cannot, if the value is once assigned, it cannot be changed. It cannot be changed, and it may have a null value. See, we can take Aadhaar card number as a best example of unique key. How? See, for all citizens of India, you will be having Aadhaar card number is unique. And if it gets lost and another duplicate copy is issued, so then the duplicate copy always have the same number as before, right? It is non-updatable. Thus, it is non-update. The number cannot be changed. Even the names, the address, everything will be changed in the card, but the number will not be changed. That's why we have taken Aadhaar card as an example of unique key. And next, coming to the secondary key. This is required in the indexing purpose for better and faster searching. Okay, I think you have understood all the different types of keys which are used in database management systems. Thank you.